Hello, hello, hello. This is Mustardketchupmayo 1000, and we're back with another installment of UFC fight prediction picks. Today we're gonna be watching or going over UFC 328, but first we gotta go over last week's card, which is UFC Fight Night Jack Maddalena versus Carlos Prates. Did pretty good. Ish. 8 out of 13. Could have done a lot better, but I'll take it. That's like what, 60%. So I'll take it. The only ones I missed were Johnston. Who was Johnston? Oh yeah, the guy that was coming out of retirement. Morales. Who was Morales? Vince Morales. Okay, I don't understand how he lost that one. I didn't get to watch it because it was like 3 a.m. But Kevin Christian, kind of understandable. Tuivasa, retire. And Gaziev, you tried your best. So, yeah. Everything else, kind of straightforward, I think. Carlos Prates is really good. Give him Islam. But yeah, this is 328. We go over Chimaev versus Strickland. We're gonna be going over the first fight of the night, or of the card, the curtain jerker, which is Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa. Taking Jose Ochoa by decision. This dude is actually really talented, and I don't know, he's not like some chump. He's only really lost to top 15 guys. Literally, Loner Cavanaugh, I think he's like top 10, I think. Top 5, top 10. Asu, I'm pretty sure it was top 5 at one point. And then we have Clayton Carpenter, who had lost to Tagir and Rafael Filho. And after seeing what happened to Rafael Filho, it was not a good look. So yeah, I'm taking Ochoa by decision. I don't think he'll KO him, but I do think he'll do fine in every other spot in this fight. Definitely not going to get a submission on Clayton Carpenter. I don't think a submission is that good. But I will say Jose Ochoa does have some grappling or defensive grappling, because I'm pretty sure Clayton Carpenter is just going to be trying to go for takedowns and just smudge him to a decision. At least that's what I would see. I think Ochoa is just going to have the reversals and enough striking on the feet to not get caught by him, or to just have him play have Clayton fight very defensively rather than offensively. So yeah, that's what I have for that one. Pretty straightforward. I don't think there's not going to be an upset on that one. I don't think, at least. But yeah, next fight is Sanger Sursurkayev versus Jordan Santos. Taking Sursurkayev by decision. Jordan has a chin. That was proven against Danny Barlow. There's so many times where I was like, damn, he's going to get knocked out. He did not. He definitely did not. So I'm taking Sursurkayev by decision. Because, he looked good against Eric Nolan and Eric McConaughey, but they weren't getting, finished. Or they weren't what is the word? Confident finishes. It's for a lack of a better term. I wasn't saying the Eric Nolan one was basically him panicking, and then Eric Nolan kind of just giving up, and then Eric McConaughey. He's old, so the Jordan, he's gonna survive, but Sursurkayev is gonna get the decision pretty easily, I would say. But yeah, next fight, Pat Sabatini versus William Gomes. Taking Pat Sabatini by decision. I think it's just going to smudge Gomes. I don't think Gomes has any chance against Pat at all. At all, in my opinion. Gomes is a little bit rangier, I would say, which is a little bit kind of worrisome, especially when you think about how he has to worry about striking. And when I think about it, when he lost to Diego Lopez was just because he couldn't get in range, and Diego Lopez is kind of tall. I think he's 6 foot, 5'11", somewhere around there. So yeah, I think decision for sure. Because Gomez doesn't have the power like Diego Lopez does. Like yeah, he has the length like Diego Lopez, but he doesn't have the power. So that's why I'm thinking of a decision on Sabatini's part. Yeah, Gomez just isn't good. I don't know what else to say. He's just not good, or at least not good enough to like be like ranked. Like this dude, Pat Sabatini, he's kind of a demon. I can't lie, he's a demon. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Next fight, Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio. I'm taking Roman Kopylov by decision. This one's a little bit of a weird one. It could go either way, in my honest opinion. Excuse me. It could go either way, in my honest opinion. I think Roman Kopylov has a little bit more, for a lack of a better term, like striking. Marco Tulio has good striking too. Don't get me wrong, but it's not very good. It's just striking. Like it's if there was such thing as striking slop, I think Marco Tulio would definitely fit that. So yeah, striking slop from Marco Tulio. As for Roman Kopylov, I think it's just gonna be him just doing his kickboxing like usual. I'm pretty sure Marco Tulio also was a kickboxer. Now I think about it. I know he trains with, or at least I thought he trained with Alex. I guess he doesn't. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of just like, what's the word? It's just striking slop. I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's just striking slop. But yeah, and then Roman Kopylov, just Roman Kopylov. I'm not sure. Let me see. Next fight, Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. I think, in my opinion, this one's gonna be Jim Miller by decision. Jared Gordon's kind of old. I know I'm saying that as if Jim Miller is like 30 or 42, but Jim Miller's at least looks good. Jared Gordon kind of looks like he's out of it. And Jim Miller really only loses to people who are like decent. I feel like if I were to see Jared Gordon somewhere in this lineup, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if I were to see Jared Gordon or Jim Miller have a loss to Jared Gordon here, I'd be like, oh, that's not a good look. But yeah, so Jim Miller, Jared Gordon. No, there's nothing much else to say about that one. Next fight, Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Taking Rebecki KO round 2. We've seen Grant Dawson not be able to take a punch from anybody who has decent striking, and seeing how Rebecki always comes out pretty strong in the first round, I'm assuming the same thing's gonna happen here, where he's just gonna come out very, very fast, very strong, very physical first round. Grant Dawson's gonna struggle because he can't strike, and he's gonna come in just gonna get chinned immediately, in my opinion. So I think round 1 KO is very feasible, but I'm gonna play it safe and just say like it's gonna be a round 2 KO, knowing that Rebecki is just really fast paced, and if he goes into the second round, it's a little bit worrisome because, he kind of gasses. He tends to gas very, very bad during the third round. So yeah, next fight, Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov. I'm taking Yaroslav Amosov by submission round 3. I think Joel Alvarez struggles with being on the back foot, A, and then B, being on the ground. Not like crazy amount, but he does struggle being on the ground, I would say, compared to Amosov. Amosov looks nuts. The way he looked against Neil Magny, even though I thought Neil Magny was gonna win, it's crazy. So Amosov submission round 3. I think it's gonna be back and forth for a while, but I think Amosov pulls it off at the end. So yeah, submission round 3 on Amosov's side of things. And then next fight, Ateba Gaultier versus Ozzy Diaz. Taking Ateba KO round 1. Just because we already know that Ozzy Diaz has been chinned twice. Knowing that, Ateba KO round 1. This is not a Andrei Pulyev who has a chin. This is Ozzy Diaz who has no chin. So there's nothing else to say about that one. Now this is the final, or the main card, the first fight of the main card. King Green versus Jeremy Stephens. It's gonna be King Green KO round 2. Bobby Green still looks good. That dude's still good. Like he's not any worse than he has ever been. Like he's doing pretty good. So I'm taking him KO by round 2. Yeah, just KO round 2. Jeremy Stephens, it's just Jeremy Stephens. He's not really here anymore. He looked really good against Mason Jones, but I mean, it's Jeremy Stephens. This dude isn't, anything crazy anymore. Maybe in the past, yeah, but not anymore, especially with this record. Yeah, so Bobby Green KO round 2. It's gonna be what I have. Could definitely be a decision though. I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, next fight, Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm taking Sean Brady by decision. Joaquin Buckley, it really only has striking, sadly. And don't get me wrong, his striking is good. He has power in his fist, but Sean Brady has wrestling, and that just having wrestling already does a lot more for you than most people would say. Just like I'm going based off of like the Kamaru Usman loss. Like Joaquin Buckley could not do anything off the ground. It was kind of like a fish out of water. Like he as soon as he got on the floor, it was over. Like that round was over. Knowing that though, Sean Brady does have a struggle with like anybody who strikes. And as long as it's someone who's long range and can strike, like a Michael Morales, that dude's 6 foot. It's like, I don't know, like probably like an 82, maybe like definitely not 82, but like a decent sized range. I think his like arms were like 75 inches. I don't know. Regardless, he's good enough for I can say Sean Brady won't get caught on the feet because they're like the same length or height rather. So I'm taking Sean Brady by decision. He's just gonna get taken down and just write it out for a decision. In my opinion, he might get caught round 3, and if that's the case where he gets caught, I think he's just gonna scramble and try to survive, which is also fine. He could do a lot better, but yeah. Next fight, Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. You already know what I got for this one. I think it's gonna be Costa decision. Volkov is still good. He's still a threat, but I think Acosta is just it's his time. Sadly, I like both of them. This thing is Dominican. It's Dominican. It's the year of the Dominican. So, Acosta's just gonna cruise out the decision. He's gonna strike. He's gonna strike with them. Just not anything crazy, like because you have to worry about range, and knowing that you have to worry about the range, especially with someone like who's like Acosta, where he tries to play it safe most of the time, and just ride out a decision. I'm taking him by decision. Volkov, he also tends to be the same. If anything, he started picking up his wrestling, but knowing that he's picking up wrestling worries me, because at least for me not to pick him, just because it's like he is just trying to wrestle, and then if Acosta just stuffs something, he has him in like a perfect position to just finish the fight. And that's why I don't really necessarily trust him. So I'm taking Waldo by decision in this fixture or in this fight. But yeah, next fight, co-main event. This one's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be good. So we'll see. It's gonna be Joshua Van versus Tatsuro Taira. It's gonna be Joshua Van by decision. You already know how I feel about this one. Obviously not. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think it's gonna be Joshua Van by decision. I think he has really good anti-wrestling pedigree, and as long as you have and some striking, which he has really good striking, I think he's able to at least definitely dismantle Taira to the point where he ends up getting, if not like a late like round 5, round 4 TKO, or I think a decision. Because I think it's gonna go back and forth. I think Taira's gonna get 2 rounds. Joshua Van's gonna have 2 rounds. And then the 5th round is just gonna be somewhere in the middle, where we have Joshua Van just finishing it off with either a TKO or he just finishes off the round really strong in round 5 and he ends up winning the entire fight. So that's why I have by decision. Tyra is a threat though. I think this could go either way, but I feel like I have Joshua Van pretty decisively by decision. That's what I have at least. And the last fight is Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. I want to take Sean Strickland. I really do. I think he has a good chance of winning, way more than the odds say. But I think Chimaev is just gonna. I don't think Chimaev is gonna be able to wrestle with him that well. But Sean Strickland definitely will do well. But I'm taking Chimaev by decision. He could definitely be where Tyra wins and Strickland wins, or Khamzat wins and Joshua Van. Wait, no. There's definitely a situation where Khamzat Chimaev wins and Tyra wins, and then there's a situation where Joshua Van wins and Strickland wins. Where at least there's gonna be, I feel like there's a good chance where at least one person or one champion loses the belt. Probably gonna be Joshua, if we're being completely honest. But I want to say it's gonna be Strickland who could take the belt, but I don't trust him enough to do that. But so I just want to play safe, and I'm taking Chimaev by decision. Yeah, just because there's so much like bad blood in this fight. So yeah, I just wanted to make a quick video. So yeah, that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. This was Mustardketchupmayo 1000. Yeah, that's all I have for today, and thank you for listening, and goodbye.